Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about setting up your budget and how to keep yourself on the budget. I personally believe there's a couple stages before you actually can keep yourself on track. The stage number one is identifying what are your expenses, categories of expenses. Then stage two is going down those categories and setting your monthly goal. And number three, trying to keep yourself on track of those goals and adjust yourself every time you go outside of those goals. As well as if you underperform in certain areas, maybe readjusting those goals as well. So let's begin. So as always, you will start off with my website. You're going to go to slavicd.com. You're going to come down to the gig links and you're going to open accounting and booking. Pretty much this software right here is which will open the accounting page for the business, and you can use that for business as well as personal. Make sure as you use them separately. So you're going to go under file and you're going to create a copy. So if you're only having a personal and you want to also do budgeting for your personal life, you would make a one copy. If you have a personal as well as business, you actually make two copies. One you would name it for business, and one when you'd name it personal. Then next, what you want to do is you want to actually go through the list here, and if personal, pretty much you're going to delete majority of this and replace it with your personal categories, like groceries, meals, eating out, um, household. I'm sorry, housing expense, like your mortgage, your utilities, uh, insurance, and the list can go on and go on. Personal care, closing expenses. So you can break those categories down as long as they are reasonable and they make sense to you. A lot of people being given a list of categories. I personally believe each person needs to create its own list. Yes, you can search the web to kind of get an idea of the list, but sometimes that list might not sense to a certain lifestyle of the person. That's why you're going to create your own list. Also include all your banks and credit cards and all your financial programs in here as well. They also need to match here on the banks and accounts. So let's say you have three credit cards. You would actually put those in here. You have a two banks account. You put it in there. You have an investment account. Actually, investment account, we're since you are going to be applying monthly, so yeah, put in all your investment accounts as well. So all those under bank and sales accounts, just put all your accounts information names here, as well as here at the bottom. Throughout here, all your expenses. So all accounts that are expense related would actually go in here. Probably you're gonna do in a family budgeting, so you're gonna have your spouse income, your income, maybe your kids' income. So you would put in all those incomes here, as well as maybe you're gonna be doing some, card sales, selling your personal assets. That will actually, you would create them here as well, and you would actually name them income. So as we all went through all those and we set up those names. That same thing, for business, you will do pretty much something similar as well, business related. But in business, you're probably going to use a lot of these, and you probably will need to add more. So you can actually, create something like this, more rows. Right click and insert 8 rows below. That will give you more rows here to work with. So if you have completed and you set up your categories as you go proceed, you might actually add more categories. If you do, that's not a problem. Just as long as you kind of separate your income, your expenses, and your banks. Which here, as you guys can see, I added bank one, bank three, and you can just grab and drag, and that will extend the names instead of you can picking those up. After you complete that, you're going to go into each one of your accounts, your banks, your credit cards, and you're going to some put them into here. What I recommend is actually doing 90 days history so you can get a good idea of where you're spending your money. Here's one other thing is do not use cash if you're considering budgeting. Just forget that the cash option exists because it is almost impossible to track cash. That's one of the reasons why I do not use cash when I work or in my life. If I actually go and get a cash from a bank account, I specifically assign it. Like example, in the beginning of the year, I took out $100 out of my business account to give out to servers at the restaurant as appreciation. I immediately assigned that under gift, and then under notes I put in that is for servers at the restaurant. So I know where those money allocated, and as I pass them out, until that cash runs out, that's then I go get more. So that is the purpose. If I get any tips, I try to collect them and then deposit into the account and categorize it as a tip. I try not to use cash at all because it's very easy to spend that cash and then trying to remember where you spend and how much you spend it can become an issue, especially if you're going to be doing this on a weekly basis, not on daily basis. I know there's apps out there and you guys are welcome to use whatever apps you choose. I use the platform that I designed because it helps me quite a bit. So here an example, what we're going to do is something that we're going to pull from a Sam's Club credit account. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself a new sheet. So I'm going to click on pause. That's going to create a sheet number named sheet 26. Then I'm going to go to my account, and you have two options. In most accounts, you will have two options. In some accounts, you only will have one option. So your goal is right now is to go into every single one of your accounts and actually export that information and then import it into Google Sheet into that spreadsheet. So then you can assign categories and get yourself an idea. How much are you spending? And for a lot of people, the spending is about the same throughout the year on a monthly basis. So 30 days would be fine. But for some people, 90 days gives a little bit more better picture because their expense and income can fluctuate from a month to a month. So 90-day is a better picture than 30-day. So what you're going to go, you're going to go into each account and you're going to have one option, one of the two options. Either you're going to highlight, and I'm going to show each option. So we're going to highlight, we're going to go back to the sheet, and we're going to just hit Control Shift V. Oops. Okay, this one not the easiest one. Control Shift V, or we can go and then hit Paste Special values only. We'll do the same thing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of drag as you see the information, which can take a while. And especially if your import option is not an option, uh, it can be quite a bit challenging. Here's another option that you can do is instead of doing all this, you can create a formula stating equal, and you're going to select which one you want. And then you're going to hit the next square equal and select which one you want and hit enter. Now you're going to take these formulas and you're going to just drag it down to the last date. So now it has pulled in all the information. Now what you're going to do is you're going to select all of it. You're going to hit copy, and then you're going to go back to the square one, and you're going to hit paste special value only. So that's going to remove the formula. See, right now we no longer have these formulas that we used to do this. After you complete that, what you're going to do is you're going to sort. And we're going to sort first by date. And we're going to delete everything that just not the date related. So we're going to delete this as well as this, and that will leave you we are missing a couple things. Hold on, let me see what did I do wrong here. Okay. Um, I guess let's go back to the formula. So this one's gone. Let me kind of sort. This one's gone and kind of figure out. So we got this price here. We got this price here. We are missing a price here because it put it in the wrong place. So make sure that the prices are pulled in into the right place. And as we see, we did, for whatever reason, it didn't pull in. So you want to actually, go through the list and figure out if there's any issues. Now we're going to do it again. Copy, paste value only. Then we go into sort. And interesting how some of these, yeah, this is not related. But how some of these did not. One, two, three, four, five. How much do we have here at the Sam's Club? Stay logged in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had 7 transactions. So yeah, this way that I'm doing it is a little bit more complicated. 5, 6, 7. So yeah, it's more complicated this way, and that's not the way I usually recommend. So we're going to delete this, but you would have to play around and kind of, until you get that list. Option two, which is a lot more easier, especially, if it lays it out in a long way, is hitting export, which you're going to select period, activity since, and you're going to actually, select all the months since, I just started using this account, and you're going to select CSV, begin export. As you guys can see, it's going to save it. Then you're going to go to your sheet. Make sure you're on the right sheet. You're going to go into File, Import, Upload. And since we saved it into Downloads, we're going to import it by selecting it and open. And that going to import. Now we're going to append to current sheet because you're probably going to import a couple different reports in. Just make sure that you complete one bank at a time before you import the next one and you clear the sheet. So detect automatically and then import. So as you guys see, we got the imported here sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one row on the top. So I can go and copy, since I'm going to drop it into bank one. So I can copy this list right here. So I'm going to select that row, copy, so I know how to adjust my headings. And I'm going to deposit. So right now, account number, which we don't really need it. Post date, looks like we're fine. Check number, we're going to not use it. We're going to go by post date, then a transaction date. Amount, which is supposed to be right here. About the description, which is supposed to be in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab and highlight and drag one to the, I'll drag it one to the right, which, hold on, we're gonna do this all together with the heading so we can follow the heading. So now we got the description lined up, but we do want the account to line up as well. So we're gonna right now just highlight the account, and we're going to drag it to account. So right now, as you guys can see, all the information have lined up. Since the information has lined up, I'm going to right now highlight my data. I'm going to copy the data. I'm going to go to bank one, and I'm going to select the next available, which, if you have something here, then you would select, next available empty row. But in this case, we're selecting here, and then we're going to go paste special value only. Now, what I like about when I have the data is I can sort the data by my description. So in this case, let's say I wanted sorted A through Z. So I have a deposit, which, let's say deposit came in from um, bank three. This is and in that case, I'll select bank three account because that's where the money came from for the payment. And then all of these are my fuel because I'm only using at Sam's Club to gas up my car. So I'll hit fuel and I'll drag that answer to the end. And this is my bank one. So I'll select bank one and I'll do that as well. So of course, here we only have certain type of transaction, but you're going to have various different transactions. So as you go through the list, you will select the transaction types and you're going to assign them because we have a lot of them based on the account because whatever is in this column right here is going to show up in this column right here under accounts, and the accounts IDs are actually your column that's right here. So make sure you put the information right in. I'm sorry, as you guys can see, the system with ones they do incorrect. So what I did, I copied it, copy, and then I selected everything, and then I hit the paste value only, and that dropped paste value only. So that's my setup for the account. After you completed that setup and you assign all accounts, and those of you that say, hey, I'm having problems setting it up, what I can do is we can get on the Zoom and you can give me permission to access your computer. We can access your bank information. You can, control to have full control of that, and then and I'll help you set up your report, and then you can go from there. Of course, I'll charge a fee for it, but if you don't know how to do it, I can help you get that accomplished, as well as you can record it and see how it's done. So next time you can do it yourself. So after we got all the information in, we're gonna go to profit and loss report. So as you can see right now, under fuel I spent $122. Under no, there's from bank two we have bank fees that we business insurance, and bank three we have bank fee. So as we had all this filled out, and under here we have office computer. So as we went to profit and loss, we see all those here expenses. So of course, you will look at those expenses, you'll print it off, and then in this area right here, you will actually go and adjust your budget. Also, if you put in a 90-day report, you're gonna set the date that you want the report to run. So make sure you set those dates. And then remember that the amounts you're seeing are 3 months. So whatever the amount is, let's say we have a 2,000. That means you want to first kind of set your the 2,000, so we can set up the formula here. We want to divide that by 3. So right now you're gonna see and we're gonna change it to dollar amount. So the amount is, people don't like that number, so let's do this right here. Divided by 3. Oops, I forgot to select what I want to divide it by 3. And I need to say change that to dollar amount. So that's not the percent. So that means I'm averaging about $40 a month on fuel. So this is just an example. So what you're going to say, okay, I'm averaging $40, and this is actually our mileage deduction formula. I'm gonna just delete it for now. And then in this column, as you print it, you will say, you know what? Okay, I've been averaging about $40 a month. Is it realistic for me to reduce more on fuel based on fuel rising or dropping? So you're gonna make that decision. You're gonna same thing, make the decision off as expense. Okay, is it realistic for me to uh, since we have about $7 average, because if we go that amount divided by 3, so it's actually 666. Yeah, people don't like that number. So so is it realistic for me to reduce the office supply on average from months to $7 to maybe $5? So you're going to go and you're going to do for each category. And as you go through each category, you'll also see your income, because you're going to put in all your income in as well. And you'll be able to see and total up, and this amount here, you'll be able to see, are you kind of going in loss or profit, and where you want to be. What are the savings? You want to be in positive. How much in positive you want to be? So all of that you'll be able to see, and you can um, copy that amount, and I guess just drop it into here, and you'll be able to see that total amount. So um, your bank accounts, as you are making payments and you are also clearing those payments in your other account where you made the payments to, by the end they're supposed to zero out. If they're not zero out, that means you're missing somewhere in importing a payment, so that's something else. So as you got your numbers, real numbers right now that you can see, then you can actually set your goals on what are your target goals are. As you move forward, and every single month you update your bank accounts information, and you start adjusting your dates that you want to be on top of. And I would recommend doing that in 30-day increment, because that's when you start seeing your full picture of what's happening. You can start seeing, are you doing and reaching your targets or not? Are you on top of of your budget? That's the way I use my budget. That's the way how my budgeting system works. Is just my budgeting and my accounting are all in one. So as I run my accounting, I can also see, okay, and I say, okay, here reasonable. Okay, I spent too much here. Was that a wise decision that I spent? Okay, maybe it's not the wise decision. And so in the future, we're not going to go this route. A lot of people say, oh, it's a business write up. Why do you care? Those people that say, why do you care? Are also those people that never have a budget. Because, yes, even it's a business write off, but why give the money away from somebody when you can only pay 30% on on that money amount, or give it away 100% to somebody? So the way I look at it, even a business, it should have a budgeting structure, and it shouldn't ask yourself, "Oh, is a business write-up?" It should ask itself a different question: is it a wise decision to spend that money? So I hope this made sense. I know it is kind of complicated. I might have to come back and touch it up based on your guys' comments. But one thing is, if you start running your books for your business, running separate books for your personal, you're going to start seeing a pattern that start developing through the report process. And pretty much simply as this, you can adjust. Let's say we want to do from April 1st to May 30th, 31st. So that report can automatically adjust. And as you guys can see, some of these other transactions no longer there, only the ones we had from the bank 3, and also the one we set up on fuel on. So let's say, the bank three, we're going to go to the bank three. And what I'm going to do is to counteract that amount. We're going to copy this and we're going to deposit that into bank three. So I made a payment on May 1st, on a payment to, and then I'll put in bank one. So I know payment where the payment went to. And then here I'm going to select bank one. So oops, sorry. So I want you guys to see how that's going to counter that amount in the report. So as you guys can see, the amount, payments are always negative. Slavic, you forgot to add negative. So as you guys can see right now, bank three has received money, but bank one spent the money. So when we sum up those two amounts, we're gonna see a sum is zero. That's what you want all your bank's accounts to sum out to zero. That way it will cancel. As you guys can see, also the amount here as it adds up, and it says that we have only 122 because the banks did zero out and only the actual spendings are being calculated, as well as if we have any incomes, it would actually calculate that as well. So now when you set, your spending goals, let's say you can say for fuel, we want only the goal to be $50. So we're gonna see, that total amount is $50 compared to what the previous month or it was. And we're gonna do one more thing here, and we're going to drag this to here as well. But so our target was, I'm sorry, we set negative. So our target was $40, but uh, or what? I'm sorry, not target. Our monthly, because we did a 3 months report here, so our monthly was $40, but we said that on fuel we want to add a little bit extra because of inflation. So we said, okay, $50 is going to be acceptable. So we did better than we actually budgeted, or we might see a reversal, negative $35. So now we spend more than we were suspecting to. And this was should have been March 1st. So kind of, I hope that kind of makes sense. If not, ask questions and I'll do a follow-up video to explain these um, more the report section. But report is where you will want to see your outcome. And then, of course, if you need to search any particular expenses, you can also go through the report sections that are profit and loss, and find those particular expenses. Because I know if you're you know spending 8,000 a month, you're going to have a huge list here, and throughout your banks, and it might be hard to find, and you're looking for that particular your transaction. When you find that particular transaction, you know exactly where to look and the date to look at. So that's the report for just in case. So I hope it made sense. I hope that you guys be able to use this tool, make the tool help you create that budget and stay on top of your budget, because end of the day it is your money and you're the only one in control of that money. Be blessed.